Okay, wasabi. I knew when I made the lens compression videos like a prognosticator, I'd get a bunch of flack. And, some people replied, well, if you zoom in or you step back and you take the same shot with the same magnification with a different lens, then really it's only based upon distance. But they're not taking into account peripheral bloom and axial magnification. Now, I don't know of anybody that actually refers to it as peripheral bloom. That's actually something that I refer to. Now, axial magnification, of course, is something that you could certainly look up from anybody. So let's take a shot and a look at some shots here, and then we'll get to the good part in a second, and we'll dispel all the nonsense. This is a shot one. Now, these shots, all but one, that I'll discuss here later in the video, none of them are cropped, okay? They're just shot as is. Now, this is a shot at 35 millimeter at f2, okay? Tabletop. Notice that this object, this glass insulator, is about midway behind the can, and this blower is further back on the table. So now let's take a look at the same distance with the 16 millimeter. Now it's roughly half. I mean, it's 32 millimeters if it were doubled, so it's essentially half. So let's take a look at that. Same distance as shot one, shot two, exact same distance. Now, in all these shots, these 6 different pictures I'll show you, I keep the can of Kentucky crack water center, obviously along the axis. Now, there's different analogies we can apply to this. We could think of this as the moon, and this as like a house on the hill. Or we can think of this as a person's nose, and this is their ears. Analogously, these are exactly identical. Okay, a house on the moon, or a person's nose and a person's ear. This might be the person's cheek because it is not as far back as the blower. So a person's nose, a person's cheek, a person's ear. Pretty clear, right? Okay, so both of those are taken at the same distance. Okay, now let's get those out of the way. Let's take a look at something different, then we can clear something up here. Okay, now let's take a look at shot number 3. Also shot, all of these are shot at f22. This one was with the 35 millimeter f2 D-series autofocus. I manually focused all of them. You can see the fisheye in the back. I left it on the table. This shot has also not been cropped. And these are shot number 3 and shot number 4 are at the exact same distance. Okay? Same thing, same distance. Obviously, the fisheye is not there because now I've got it mounted on the camera. So, shot number 3 and shot number 4 are at the exact same distance. So, let's in a second dispel the BS and nonsense because people are like, "Ow, ow, 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 woof, 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 woof." This is not about focal, but it's about distance. In other words, if you could take a shot here, and you want the same magnification, you're going to have to back up. So let's take a look at shot number 5. Okay, shot number 5 is a 16 millimeter meant to mimic. I got closer. Hold on, I'll get to the good part in a second here. People are like, oh yeah, I know this. Well, I haven't got to the good part. Okay, let's hold on here a minute. Now, I got closer with the camera on tripod to make the Coke can be the same size as shot number 3 with the 35 millimeter. Now, obviously, you can see a difference if this is a person's ear back here or a moon. Obviously, we have what I call peripheral bloom. But, well, you moved closer, so that's not really true. We're talking, you got the same subject magnification, the can of Kentucky crack water there, and the same magnification. But all you've done is you've moved closer. Yeah, well, let's get to the good part in a second here, okay? Now take a look at those. Okay, so obviously shot number 3 is at X distance, and the shot number 5, to mimic shot number 3, is at a closer distance. Like, oh yeah, well we know that. Okay, well that's fine. So now what we'll do is we will take shot number 3, and remember we had shot number 4. Both of these are at the exact same distance. Shot number 3 is at the same distance as shot number 4. Okay, let's get to the good part. This is what people don't understand. No one else refers to this. It's lens perspective, or peripheral bloom. Now, a longer focal length results in a smaller axial magnification, the axis, the center. And a smaller focal length, 16 millimeter, 35 millimeters, you go back, causes a focal length is a larger axial magnification. Like if, for example, if I were to take this shot, for example, you take a look at this, and shot number 5, you can see how I have a type of pin cushioning effect. You see how the bottle, the can, has been pinched at the center, and here it has been flattened out. This is why portraiture looks a lot better at 85 millimeter, and also why a 50 millimeter, while effectively a crop. Effectively a crop of 85 millimeter portraiture, basically you still have the same issue because the same focal is the same focal is the same focal. So let's take a look at the interesting part here, okay? I took shot number 3, and I had shot number 4, which are the exact same distance. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on shot number 4, okay, right here. I made sure that both of these subjects are exactly the same. Oh my God, this is where everybody is going to be proven wrong. Or at least the people that don't understand, which is a whole lot of people. But learning stuff is cool, right? Okay, this is shot number 4, zoomed in to the exact same subject magnification as shot number 3 here. This is 35 millimeter. This is also the 16 millimeter. This shot number 4 is the exact same shot as this, except zoomed in to keep the subject magnification identical. Okay? This shot number 4 is a 16 millimeter taken at the exact same distance. Okay, the distance has not changed. 35 millimeter, same distance. 16 millimeters, same distance. But I've zoomed in to make the subject identical. Well, let's look what happens. Oh my God, what happens here? Okay, well, let's look at one thing first, and then we'll look at something else. And I assure you, both of these subjects are exactly the same. Let's take a look at the person's ear over here, or what would be the moon. Okay, oh my God, shot number 4 is smaller. Oh, is that why the moon is a lot larger when you, use a telephoto lens? You get what I call peripheral bloom. Now, as you can see from shot number 4 that is not zoomed in, it actually gets a lot worse. This is only comparing 35 millimeter against a 16. I mean, if it gets radically worse, you can start comparing like a 50 millimeter with a 200 millimeter or 300 millimeter. Okay, so actually the peripheral bloom, you can see this is shot number 4 and this is shot number 4 zoomed in. You can see that this little doohickey, the blower, and this little doohickey are nowhere near the peripheral of the field of view of the 16 millimeter fisheye. It gets much worse if you go out here. Wah! You see everything curved over here. Oh my God, that's peripheral bloom. Look at that. So it's not even near the edge. So let's take a look at these two again. Let's notice a few different things. The same thing that happens, like if this is a house on a hill and this is a moon, or if this is a person's nose, this is a person's ear, a person's cheek over here, and this is a person's ear, because the glass insulator is roughly half the distance as the blower back here. We can think of this as house and moon, or nose and ear. Okay, so let's take a look. Now the subject is exact same magnification. Shot number 3 and shot number 4 here, which has been zoomed in, are the exact same distance, but look what changed. The blower here, the blower there. One is larger. You see that? It's also skinnier. It's larger. Skinnier, larger, skinnier, larger. And take a look at the center. Same subject magnification. Let's take a look at the subject, or the nose, or the house, for example. You see that flattening? You see that? Kind of looks like the can over here, well, it's the exact same size, has been compressed longitudinally. Oh, yeah, well, geez, that's exactly what I said in the other videos. The longer focal length results in larger peripheral bloom. The longer focal length results in larger peripheral bloom. The smaller focal length results in smaller peripheral bloom. A longer focal length, this being the longer focal length of the, and this is only basically twice the 16. Like I said, it's radically different if you're going to be comparing, say, a 50 millimeter and 200, a 50 millimeter and a 300, or an 80 millimeter and a 300. This is where you are using, it's like, why on earth would you use a 300 millimeter to take a portrait shot? Why can't you get close? Well, I can get close, but there's a reason I'm using a 300 millimeter to take a portraiture shot, or why I want to make that moon. You see, this is the moon over here. Let's say this is a 50 millimeter, even though it's a 16, and let's say this is a 200 millimeter, 300 millimeter over here, even though it's a 35. The same thing happens, except radically more so. The moon gets bigger. Moon, smaller. Bigger, smaller. Both of these, Exact same magnification. Exact same magnification. Same. These are both taken at exactly the same distance. Okay? Okay. So where's the confusion lie? Now we head on. See, this is where everybody was confused. Like, people just say, you, you're talking about taking a shot at 50 millimeters with the same magnification and then backing up and getting the same magnification of the subject at, say, 200 millimeters. Well, all you've done is you've moved. Yeah, I have, but something else has changed. No, you haven't. All the thing you've done is moved. Well, let's take a look at these two shots. I've not moved at all. 3 and 4, same distance, same distance, same distance. Well, what happens over here? Oh, something's happened over here. Yes, you can apply this to a landscape. This is a house in the moon. This is someone's nose. This is someone's ear. This is someone's cheek over here. You know, all this is applicable. I showed you the links in the prior two videos and what does what. And you see, it is not merely distance. It's not merely distance. Same magnification. All I did was zoom in and crop this shot out because this shot number 4 right here that I'm moving is this same shot right here. Both of these are the same distance. Same distance. Same distance. Exact same distance. Same distance. Zooming in. Right. I hope I made that clear. Test it for yourself if you don't believe me. But like I said, this is only a difference of twice. Twice of 16 millimeters, roughly 35 millimeter, 32 millimeter, 35, whatever. We're talking some serious difference. We're talking about like 50 millimeter versus 300. And it's like, why would you use a 300 millimeter lens or 200 millimeter lens when you could use an 85 millimeter lens? Well, the reason being is that I am going to, for example, make the moon a lot bigger. Or I'm going to take someone's face that is, she's got a face like a horse, and I'm going to flatten it out. I'm going to flatten out this from this. Oh, the flattening, as Yannick calls it. He calls it the flattening, which is really funny. Flattened it out. Also enlarged this, like enlarging the moon over here. I've changed the perspective. Image compression, lens perspective, foreshortening. Foreshortening is a known entity. It's used by every illusionist, every artist, discussed by Euclid, Aristotle, Plato. Perspective, baby. Someone said, science, bitch! Science! Science. Okay. See, now, the serious question was, as in the other two videos, you know, I showed you a lot of examples that people posted of different distances. But now you're seeing the exact same distance, but the same magnification. All I did was zoom in, but look what happened to the background. It got bigger. Same distance, bigger, same distance. I hope I made that clear. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye.